Hey there, my name is Pravus. Welcome to Thronefall, a tower defense city builder that entered early access just earlier this month, and it's already making some waves on Steam. Fantastic reviews across the board, and having played it for a couple of hours, I can understand why. Best thing I can do, just show you how this works, so let's jump straight into the game. Now, as I said, this game is currently in early access, so there's only 4 levels available to the player right now. The first level is also just a tutorial, so really only 3 levels available to the player. However, there is some replayability, and I'll explain a bit more about that in just a minute. Let's play here in the Nordfells. I've beaten this once before, but I have some objectives I want to complete, so we're going to give this one another go. Now, normally you have to choose a weapon for your character. You'll start off with a longbow for your first ever playthrough. However, you do unlock a spear, and apparently a different weapon later on, but I haven't unlocked that. I'm going to play with the spear this time around, and I'll explain more about why in just a minute. For my perks right now, we can choose 2 because I've played enough that we can actually have 2 perks. You start off with only 1. I'll take the Royal Mint and also the Castle Fortifications, making a very strong castle in case things go wrong. And then there's something here called mutators. These are modifiers which increase difficulty, but give you extra rewards if you can survive. So I'm going to go ahead and increase the health and the damage of my enemies for a 44% boost in experience when I win this. And the reason I'm choosing all of this layout is because in the bottom right you can see quests. Now, the first time I beat this, I actually was able to achieve 3 out of 6 quests. If I can win with this current setup, not a ranged weapon, and with both the health and the damage modifier active, I will complete the zone entirely. Gonna be challenging, but I think it's worth it. Let's give it a go. Alright, welcome to the map. Now, this is my character. We'll just go ahead and run around over here. Now, there's a little spot here where I can place down my castle, and we're going to spend some of the treasure that I've currently set up in the bottom right, 8 coins, go into building up a quick little castle. Boom. Kind of reminds you of something like Kingdom, you know, 2 crowns and all that. Same idea as far as how you spend your coins, though how we'll harvest them is a little bit more complicated. For now, let's go ahead and also build out a couple of houses, and the reason I want these houses is because more homes means more income at the end of every round. That obviously is helpful. The faster we can snowball our economy, the better. Now, down here in the bottom right, some enemies are about to spawn. When you are done, and there's nothing else you want to upgrade, you simply hold down the space key to go to the night, and that is when the enemies are going to attack. So down over here, we see some enemies. Yeah! I'll just go ahead and spear these guys and try not to die. Ha 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 ha, there we go. Alright, that one is dead. Let's go ahead and spear this guy for a little bit. Try not to die, just saying. The bow is obviously a lot easier to work with, but this is a challenge mode, so I have to try not to mess that up. Now, you can activate a special ability. If you're playing as a ranged character, you can use a melee attack. As a spearman, I can activate what is basically a rapid attack and some healing. Obviously pretty helpful. Anyway, we collected some treasure from killing enemies, and also the castle and house just gave me a little bit more to work with. That's excellent. Let's go ahead and build out some additional houses. Yes, I know, that seems a little crazy. And then I'm also going to upgrade my castle once. Now, with the castle upgrade, we have a couple of different options. We can either go for royal training, increasing my HP and also my attack damage, which can be nice, or we can go for the Builders Guild, which means my houses are going to level up for free and get me extra money. I like that too, so let's go ahead and pick that up. The faster you can snowball your economy, the better in every single circumstance. I'm out of money, so let's go ahead and move on. 8 enemies are going to be attacking in this direction this time, so let's go ahead and do some stabby stab, trying to stay out of these guys' range as much as I can. The castle has a very long range thanks to my perks, so it is doing a fair bit of damage. Gonna go ahead and turn on that special ability, and you can see I'm stabbing very quickly when I do things like that, but that's fine. Go ahead and just take these guys out. Try not to let them destroy any of your resource-producing buildings. Everything does regenerate at the beginning of the next day. However, if things got destroyed, you don't get any money from them. So a trick that you need to learn in a game like Thronefall is you should be only building something that you can actively defend. Now, I say that because if you come over here, for example, we could place down something like a farm, and this can be another way of generating some money. However, you can see it's right in the path of where enemies are going to come from, and if I do not have enough units or towers to defend against this, well, then they'll get destroyed and I get no benefit. So really, why bother? Let's go over here. By the way, I want to upgrade some barracks, and these are going to get me some extra units. We have a couple different options. I can go for knights, I can go for spearmen, or I can go for flails. The knights are very good in that they're very tanky, great against ranged enemies. The spearmen move very quickly, so they can get into the fight pretty nicely, and then the flails do a lot of AoE damage. I'm going to start off with some knights. Also going to come down over this direction and get another barracks. This one is for ranged units. Let's get myself some crossbowmen. Low range, but very high damage, and they have some armor, so they're less likely to die. Okay, now I've only got a couple of coins remaining. I'm going to go ahead and get myself another one of these houses. Now, as you have these units, they can just kind of stick around where they are right now, and that's fine. The enemy will come after you, and they'll try to engage. However, if I hold down the control button, I can gather these guys up, kind of like so, and ask them to follow me around. Okay, so perfect. I'm now their commander. That's great. I'm going to set these guys up down over here. And I'm going to go ahead and hit control again, and this is where they're going to set themselves up. Perfect for intercepting the enemies as they are spawning and hopefully killing them off very quickly. I, for one, will go up over here and deal with 2 enemies that are going to spawn in this direction. Think we're ready, so let's go ahead and end the day, move on to the night. So I'll take care of this while my units do their thing. Hopefully it ends up being... Whoa, 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 okay, this thing did a lot more damage than I thought it was going to. Ha ha ha. Let's go ahead and activate my ability, so I do very, very rapid stabby stabs. There we go. All right, try not to get killed by this thing. You can die, though you will resurrect after a few seconds, so it's not a big deal. And it looks like my army did short work with these enemies. However, we have a lot more on the way. We have 8 range units approaching from 3 different directions each. This is where having the knights and the crossbowmen who can survive range attacks is obviously going to be very helpful. Now, a couple things we could do. We could place down some towers, and these are going to be your static defenses, and obviously that seems very tempting. However, they're not nearly as good as having actual melee or ranged units, because having a mobile defense is going to be better than having all your resources tied up in a static tower that can't do anything. This will be important later, but right now I'm not worried about it. Walls can, of course, be quite useful, but I'm not worried about that right now either. Instead, I'd rather go ahead and get myself a couple of extra houses, kind of like so. And then, I do think I want to upgrade the knights. We'll spend 8 gold to get this. That's going to be 4 more knights, so we now have 8 knights and 4 crossbowmen. That's a pretty decent defensive force. I'm going to start by picking up these 4 knights, and I'm going to move these guys right down over here. 4 knights should easily be able to handle 8 of these rangers, no big deal. I'm going to do the exact same thing with these guys. While they're moving, notice, by the way, that some of these houses are upgrading to level 2. Level 2 houses produce 2 coins. At the beginning of every day, a regular house only produces 1. The good thing about housing is it's usually pretty easy to defend, and it means that they'll pay themselves off after only 2 days. So housing is pretty darn good. Same thing about having the level 2 houses, but having a castle that automatically upgrades them, obviously that saves me a little bit of cash and lets me snowball my economy while I can focus on the military. All right, let's go ahead and move on into the night. I'm going to get up over here, and we're going to deal with some of these rangers as they spawn. Though the crossbowmen appear to be instantly evaporating these fools, well, looks like my help is not needed at all. Let's just go ahead and inspect the damage. The knights are doing their thing over here. They should be pretty tanky, not likely to die at all. I'll just get in here and start stabbing like so. Boom, 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 boom. Try to help these guys out a little bit if I can, but they probably are fine on their own. Okay, this time we're going to have some enemies they're going to attack. 15 are going to try to rush after my castle. This time I might need some walls just to defend against them and hold them back while my knights and my crossbowmen do their jobs. So let's go ahead and first initiate 4 coins so we're going to spend there on walls. That will slow things down. And I'm going to go ahead and get myself some extra crossbowmen. A little bit of extra defense is not a bad plan. And then I think the rest of my coins honestly just go into getting a few extra houses. Extra houses, of course, just being extra money, and I like extra money. So boom, there we go. Take all of that, and we could go for an extra house over here, but for example, I couldn't defend that, so may not be a good idea. Might actually save these coins and hold on to them for the next round. Though I am going to move these crossbowmen inside of the base real quick. All right, we are ready to move on. Now, these guys are going to move fairly quickly and can be very dangerous, so I don't love these guys at all, but we'll try to slow them down and hit them as much as I'm able to. Crossbowmen and team are doing their work. That's great. All right, with this many mobile units, I think we can clear out these 15 guys without too much of an issue. Now, something to note, the barracks over here on the left, one of my archers did die, so it's respawning more of my units. It's one of the things that's great about having the barracks, is even if you lose units, you can get more of them. That's an improvement over static defenses that, well, don't rebuild themselves during a fight. Now, I could spend some more money to upgrade houses, but remember we get them upgraded for free with the castles, so if I wait long enough, we'll continue getting some of these. I'm not feeling too worried about it. Let's go over here and get some additional money generation with a quick farm. Now, we can have an improved plow, which means we'll get even more income every time we upgrade this, or I could use an explosive trap. If an enemy destroys the mill, it blows up and kills all the enemies around it, which can be good in a pinch. Don't think I'm going to need that for this particular farm, though there are 2 other locations where it could make sense. So I'm going to take the improved plow and then spend a little bit of money like so to go ahead and place down some fields. Only costs 1 gold per field, and each one generates 1 gold, which can be nice, but the farms are much harder to defend than houses, so it's a little bit of a risk and probably not the absolute top priority. Anyway, we go ahead and pick some of that up, all looking good. Could place down some towers, but again, if they get destroyed, there's not a whole lot of point. I don't mind placing one down right here, though. Then again, maybe we just go ahead and save our money. I might want to upgrade my castle next round. So let's go ahead and move on to the night. We have a lot of enemies that are going to be coming after us this time. I could go ahead and grab all of my units, and I probably should get their attention at the very least. Have them follow me around, because once these guys get close, actually they're going straight for my farm. Ha ha ha! Right. All right, let's go ahead and move the mobile units, get them down here, try to intercept these guys and finish them off. I'd really rather not have them destroy any of my fields, because that just ruins some of my gold generation later on. There we go. Once again, the mobile units are for the win, and they will respawn with all their other guys. I get a lot of money. Beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing upgraded. 20 coins to go for the max level of the castle, but worth it. Do I want to boost up my own damage, or would I rather become a better commander? My units move faster while I command them, and I have a healing aura and 30% extra damage. I mean, it's probably an okay choice. I think I'll pick this one up, but that's good. All right, fantastic. I've got 12 coins remaining, and we have 15 enemies that are going to be flying over this direction. Could be a little bit scary. I'm going to, however, increase my money generation by going for another farm, probably one over here. Again, this one's going to be hard to defend because it's really in the path of your enemies. I'm going to pick up an explosive trap this time, spend 4 gold to get this sucker upgraded, and we're just going to try to get some more farms. The more you can snowball your economy in this game, obviously, the better your odds are going to be later on, but it's a fine balance where you, well, you know, kind of need to stay alive, so don't neglect your military. Anyway, let's go ahead and grab all these guys and get ready for an attack. Alright, so we're getting attacked by a lot of these flyers. Now, unfortunately, I'm not exactly good at taking these out, and my crossbowmen are not the most effective. So these guys are able to go over the walls and actually do a fair bit of damage. If I had been a bow character, this would be a lot easier. So we lost some of our gold generation, as you can see. But it is going to come back. It's just, you know, got nothing over here. Yeah, this is one of the reasons that farms are not always the best investment. All right, got a lot of enemies coming in from this direction this time, and this farm is almost certainly going to die, but that's why we want this thing to be able to do the explodies. I'm going to come over here, and we're going to go ahead and get ourselves another barracks. Do you want to go ahead and grab the flails, or would I rather grab the spearmen this time? Fast-moving units or AoE damage? You know, I'll take the flails. I haven't used these guys before. Could be kind of fun. And then I'll come over here, and I will get myself... Do I want longbows? Great if you want to pick people off at a safe distance. I think I'm going to go ahead and continue grabbing more of the crossbowmen. Still have 19 coins to spare. What should I do with that? Great question. I think this isn't a bad opportunity to go ahead and start placing down some static defenses towers. If nothing else, they'll give me some extra damage, and they also will be kind of like a shield for my units. So there's something else for the enemy to hit, and they'll just come back at the beginning of the next day, so that should be fine. All right, do we feel like we are ready? I think the answer is yes. Let's go ahead and start the night. A lot of enemies coming down that direction, but I'm going to go and deal with this and hope that my defense forces can handle the northern path, because I can't afford to be up there right now. Yep, looks like they were able to handle it, no problem. We'll grab the remaining units, tell them to go ahead and head down over here, and then we can clean this up with pretty much no losses, like 1 or 2 fields down, I think, in total. There we go, got a lot of money out of that. All right, we're going to have a lot of flying enemies, and we already know that that's going to be difficult to deal with, not to mention some big ogres are going to spawn over this direction. Okay, so more crossbowmen for range attacks wouldn't be a bad plan. Also, we might want to consider getting myself some extra towers so we can kind of shoot these things down. So I'll go ahead and get a lot of that. But I mostly want to continue focusing on the mobile defensive force, all right? It's always better to have a lot of units than just a handful of towers. In fact, we'll go ahead and upgrade this to the maximum level, so I've got a pretty good number of units across the board here. I think this is the best we're going to be able to do. So let's go ahead and move on to the next night and start shooting these things down. Now, these are the big ogres. They're obviously very, very tanky. All the melee units can just stay down here, and that's completely fine. We'll try to kill these things off. I'm going to trust that my towers and range units can take these flyers down. They don't have a lot of health, so that feels completely fine to me. We can probably handle it. And there we go. All right, so we picked up a fair bit of money out of that. How many coins do we have now? We're going up to 47. All right. I mean, our economy is looking pretty darn good, I'm not going to lie. Which is good, because we're about to get attacked from 3 different directions by a lot of swordsmen plus an ogre each, so having a lot of extra units would not go amiss. And I'll even spend the last of my money getting the 3rd final farm over here, though of the explosive variety, because I think that's going to be better. Alright, kill enemies as fast as they spawn, please! Not a bad plan to kite around some of the bigger units if you find that they are starting to break through, and it looks like they are indeed starting to break through. That said, I think the towers and stuff should be able to handle most of it. And there we go, up to 51 coins. Okay, we're about to get hit very hard in this direction, so this is a little bit on the scarier side. Might want to go ahead and upgrade a wall here just as a stronger defense for when the wave crashes against me. Other than that, there's not really more towers to get, there's just more health to gain. So I think the best thing to do is to max out the number of units I'm able to train. That said, actually, everything is upgraded and there's really not much more for me to do. So I guess I'll just preemptively go ahead and do some other upgrades, like upgrade the walls, because you never know. Alright, all my troops are in one position. Let's see how quickly we can mow through all this. I'm not sure if it'll be fast enough, but it's going to be a lot. Oh yeah, the enemy's barely able to get through whatever these rolly things are. There are admittedly a lot of archers down over here that are shooting my guys. But, you know, with enough crossbowmen, we can handle it. And actually, with them clustered up like that, the flails did some pretty amazing work. Okay, thank you. I'm now going to be sitting on 68 coins. Oh, our economy is solved. That is no longer a problem. 5 flyers over here, huh? Yeah, that's deceptively easy. Bring it on, weird little things. Actually, they're not flyers at all. They're weird little bugs. Whatever. I don't care that much. 5 of them. Easy. Done. Okay. 1 wave to go. Oh, and you can see this one's gonna be a doozy. We got a bunch of soldiers. We got some flyers. We got those little chain rolly balls. We got some archers. And we have enemy catapults. And we're going to get attacked from literally all directions. Yeah, this is where all of a sudden things get a little bit tough. That said, we can start upgrading some more of these towers, and when they get to their maximum level, you actually get some perks, so let's make a couple of these into ballista towers that'll prioritize, taking down some of the enemy siege engines, like so, and the ones that are outside of the walls that are going to be just damage sponges, let's go ahead and give them some iron plates to really slow down the enemy. That's all I'm trying to do there. And that's literally all of the money that I am able to spend. All right, nothing for it. We're either going to make it or we're not. Here's hoping. Here they come. All right, I want to run in here and try to... And I'm dead. Well, that was quick. I want to run in there and try to take out some of their catapults, but I failed on that front. It's fine, though. The ballista towers will surely do the job, right? They're very good at taking down some of these strong enemies. Alright, well, we're just getting attacked from one direction at a time. Fortunately, you don't get hit from every direction at the same time when you're in the final wave, so with our ballistas and stuff, we should be able to handle these guys, and now the flyers are coming in, but we have the towers we need to deal with that. It gives you a chance to reposition some of your forces, which we're going to go ahead and do right now. Now, of course, the problem with the catapults is they're really good at taking down a bunch of your towers, so if you did not get to maximum level towers, odds are pretty good that they're going to knock them down very, very rapidly. That's fine, though. That's fine. I mean, this is the final wave. If we lose a few things, it's not the end of the world. And actually, there's really nothing to defend outside of the walls at this point, so we might as well just keep the armies kind of clustered together instead of spread out. That's right, my friends. Get in there. Swarm these stupid archers. There we go. Dead. All right. Victory is mine. I mean, it came at a cost, but who cares? We win. The kingdom shall survive, and this should mean that I have completed all of the remaining quests that are in this particular zone, so I can happily move on. Now, obviously, you can get a base score, you'll get some mutator bonuses, you get a high score, all fun, and that leads into XP, and as you level up, you start getting some additional perks or various upgrades. For example, our defensive towers now can use burning oil if we want. That's pretty helpful. And if we had just leveled up a little bit more, it looks like we might have had access to another weapon type for my main character. Well, that's a shame, but overall, I guess that's fine. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the next zone. I'm curious what this one's going to be like. I'm going to try using a longbow this time around, though it looks like the quests are saying, hey, please use your spears. Actually, you have to beat it once with and once without, so that's good to know. All right, let's try adding in a mutator right here. They drop less gold, but we get extra XP and points. That could be nice. And honestly, the rest don't make sense as far as quests. We'll just do the first 3 and have to come back later. So let's see. We've got our basic castle down. Looks like there are a few housing locations, but this map is obviously very, very different. Based on what I'm seeing up over here, it looks like maybe we could build some mines. That's interesting. Another method of getting some money. I like that. Yeah, we can get 6 gold. Mines pay for themselves immediately, as long as you can actually defend them. Interesting. Also, it looks like we're going to get attacked by enemy cavalry. All right, I haven't seen them before, but that means that spearmen are going to be the play in this particular map. Well, do your worst, guys. Let's see what they can do. All right, so we can pick them off from a safe distance up over here, and the long-range castle will help, but they do have a lot of health. All right. Well, it's a little bit close, but we should be able to survive this one, barely. The less I have to invest my early money into a military, the better. Just lets me snowball a little faster. So with the mines doing their job, we actually should have a pretty decent number of coins to work with. But of course, we're going to get attacked from a totally different direction over here. Right. Well, I can get myself the 3rd mine. I can get some walls to slow them down and a few military units, though I don't know if it's going to be enough. And the answer is yes, it is. Okay, the fast-moving spearmen seem to have done the job. Let's see, I'm going to try upgrading the castle over here. Do we want the Assassin's Training? Do we want the Builders Guild? If I do this, I really need to start getting more housing. I don't have much at the moment, but I think that that's probably still the right decision. So let's get the Builders Guild. I'm also going to upgrade the spear. Actually, wait, hang on. What is this over here? This is more range units, it looks like. I want to get more spearmen if we're about to be attacked by a bunch of cavalry. Ah, here we go. This will do the job. All right, grab. Do I want spearmen actually, or do I want things like knights? We're probably going to get attacked by range units and stuff later. We actually definitely are. Just notice in the top right that's going to happen. Okay, let's go ahead and tell these knights that we need to hightail it back up this direction. Oh my gosh, there's a whole load of stuff to build over this direction too, and I didn't even notice. So many farms! Fantastic. Okay, well, yeah, you guys just set up right here and ambush them. And let's get myself some more houses, because I'm still not ramping up my gold generation enough. Lots of military units to survive, because I'm feeling extra concerned, but the mines might be good enough. All right. Let's see what's going to happen with this. I'm curious how effective the spearmen are going to be once the cavalry do arrive. Betting very effective. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They're pretty good. I got some sort of an enemy down here in the bottom right that I've never seen before. I have no idea what they're weak to. Well, let's see what these things can do. Oh boy, big, weird, spiky ball things. That's kind of scary. I don't like them. Oh, and they explode. Oh, good, good, good. So if they get into the midst of all your units, then they're all just dead. Right. Okay, failed to defend this mine as a result. Oops. All right, lesson learned. Now I know what I'm facing. Of course, now I have a lot of enemy horsemen on the way, which means lots of spearmen are the solution. Something you can do that I haven't mentioned is you can deliberately move your units over to an area, right, and then hold down control long enough, and it actually tells them hold your ground. So if you got some longer range units and you want them to, you know, not run toward the enemy and get killed, this might be how you handle that. Oh, here's something I didn't know. Hold on. You can walk through the mine and it teleports you to a different mine? Oh, that's very helpful, actually. Now, I do seem to have created a hilarious bug where my cape has turned into some sort of a picnic blanket or something that is going through my horse. Very uncomfortable for everyone involved. I'm not filled with a lot of confidence for this particular wave. This is a lot of enemies in every direction, and I don't have enough forces to go around. That's just not an option for me. The one ballista tower I've got might help a little bit, but it... oh boy, yeah, this is going to be a problem. I feel like it really depends on which waves are going to attack us in which order. That is the only way that I have even the slightest hint of a chance. All right, well, here goes nothing. All right, so we're getting attacked from this direction. We're getting attacked down over here. Okay, are we actually getting attacked in every direction? Yes, we are. Okay. Can't really be in enough places at once, but so far we're kind of handling it because whatever those giant chain snowball things are haven't started hitting me yet. Okay, and that's why I reinforced this wall extra strong over here, thinking that, yeah, we're probably going to be in a position where I don't have enough troops over here. All right, yeah, here they come. Honestly, I feel like the ballista has done a lot to save me, if I'm honest. If the giants had not gone down quickly, I don't think these units could have survived long enough. And amazingly, we actually did surprisingly good. Okay, we won. Wow. I mean, I knew I would win. There was never a doubt in my mind. I was extremely confident the whole time. Only got me a couple additional levels, so I didn't unlock a whole lot more, except for a heavy sword for my main character, but that's half the quests done. And we would be able to move on to the last level, which is Frostsea, but that is something you might have to experience for yourself. So that's a quick look at Thronefall. Obviously, more content is going to be added into the game eventually. It's just in an early access state. That said, it's very simple in its concept, but very effective and very enjoyable even in its current state. Definitely worth something picking up, because I suspect that it's going to be getting a lot more content in the future, and this is the best price you're going to get for an otherwise pretty darn fun game. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, I'd ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, make sure you hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.